Hello everyone, my name is Lenny from Code with Lenny Len, and in this third Python programming tutorial, I'm going to be showing you something else, something new. In the last tutorial, I showed you how to work with numbers, where we went to all programs, Python, we launched the interpreter, and we did something almost like this, whereby we were seeing that Python is able to do some very huge calculations, but it's time to move on to something more fun. Before you start, I would like to tell you something about text editors. In programming, all of the code that you write, or most of it, is written on a text editor. So we're not going to be working with this command line all the time, doing all the fun stuff, because the interpreter is only for small bits of code execution. And what I mean by small bits of code is something like one line, test it, see whether it runs, and something of the sort. So if you're going to be writing big programs in the future, you're going to be working with text editors. Common text editors include Notepad in Windows. We have also Notepad++, which is free to download in the internet. Just go search Notepad++, you'll get it. Also quite good. But there is one that I always use, and it's called IDLE, IDLE. And the goodness of IDLE, or Integrated Development Environment or something, is that it comes shipped in with Python. So if we'll just go to our all programs, Python 3.6 IDLE, there it is. And what it's called, it's an interactive environment, and this will help us because it's much better. It has a lot of syntax highlighting, something like that, something very cool we're just going to be seeing in a moment. So here it is, it has started. You should get something like this, Python 3.6 shell. Maybe yours is Python 3.6.5, but otherwise if it's 3.6, no problem. So we can do something like what we did last time, numbers, and you can see it execute. So it's just basically the command line, but in a much better way, in a much user-friendly manner. And we are going to be using this to be writing all of our code. So if we start with today's lesson, let me teach you about strings. And strings in Python are just sentences or words or letters, anything that's in the English alphabet, let me say so. So if we have something like Lenny and you want to print it on the screen, you'll use strings. And in Python, strings are enclosed in single quotes or double quotes. So the goodness with Python, it's unique. You can use both single quotes or double quotes. So for example, I would want to see Lenny. I'll just put quote Lenny. And now Python officially recognizes this as a string. So a much better way to do it is by printing it, not just throwing it to Python. We want it to be systematic. And what is available in Python is known as print, the print function. And we will be talking more about functions in the future. But for now, there is this function called print. And so what it does is just prints all your strings or numbers to the interpreter. So let us do this. And in printing, especially now that we're doing Python 3, we are going to need brackets. It's a function, it needs a bracket. So I'll be talking more about functions, but for now, just put brackets. Then inside the brackets is where you put your string. So I put my Lenny like that. And as you can see right now, it recognizes this as a string and passes it out very neatly. So as a kind of rule, most of the programming languages, you'll start with something known as hello world. So we're just going to print that right now, brackets, or you can just put bracket, then quote, then hello world, then quote, bracket. And as you can see, it has printed hello world on the screen. So print just basically does everything that's in the bracket and prints it or outputs it onto a window. So for example, we can print arithmetic, 22 minus 1, and as you can see, it has evaluated it and printed it on the interpreter. So this is a very nice environment to be working with. I'll also recommend you check out Notepad++, Sublime Text. There are things like Genie. There are so many text editors out there, but I prefer Idle because it's free, comes with Python, and it's very, very good. So now you might be wondering, how do we save our programs? We have been writing some bits of code, we're just starting out Python, and maybe you would want to show someone that you actually did some work, like let's say printing. So how will you do that? You just press Ctrl N, that's on Windows, or File, New File, you see? And once this opens, it just gives you an empty file. So as we are saying, this is an interpreter. It only runs one line of code. For example, that I cannot go to the next line till it finishes executing this. But in our file, we can be able to write all the lines of code that we want, then run it once we are finished. So I'll just repeat the same demonstration. Print quote the brackets, then the quotes, and I'll just say Lenny or Lenny Len. And once I do that, I'll just come here to File and Save. Then I'm going to be asked to pick my save location, which I already did pick. It's in my desktop. Let's learn Python basics, code. And here I can save it as maybe lesson 1, printing.py. And this is what I'm going to be talking to you about. What is .py? So I'll just save it. So Python files, as you can see, end with an extension of .py. And what an extension is just what describes what your file is. So you can have a text document. It will be written as maybe example1.txt to show that it's a text. But for Python files, because they're unique files, it has a .py at the end. Okay, so don't have to worry about .py every time. If you just save, Python will automatically save it as a .py, so you might want to add this or not. Most of the cases, Python will just automatically put the .py extension for you, and if you run or press F5, you should see the bit of code that we just did in the interpreter. And once it runs, you see it has printed out Lenny Len. So this is a much better way of doing stuff because you can do a lot of code. For example, print. I may want to do again some hello world. I may want to also print some arithmetics, or I just put 45 minus that. I may also want to print maybe I am learning Python. Then I just come here to File and Save, and finally run. Once it runs, you can see the print function has printed out Lenny Len, hello world, the results of our calculations, and I am learning Python. So I hope you're having fun, and if you have noticed, if you come to your code, you can see it is saved with an extension. It has a new icon, and this is the icon that is officially recognized as the Python icon or whatever. Let me just say that. But once you save your files in a .py extension, you're going to be having them to have you're going to be seeing this icon, and that just shows that it's a Python file. It's recognized by your system, and that means that you correctly installed Python as well. And that's how we are going to be saving code, writing code. So from now on, I'll be using idle, and in the next video I'm going to be talking more about strings and something funny you can do with them, and we'll go on doing much better and much fun stuff with Python. So as always, thanks for watching and stay tuned to the next video.